from Sifit Ches starts to shtickle one last Inyan. There was a var before, the HaChassidus is not an Inyan Prati, HaChassidus is an Inyan Atzmi. HaChassidus is as Galas of Chinas Yechidah Shebetayra, Yechidah Kos HaYishtalshalos, which is Be'efin Klali, a difference between there's an Inyan Atzmi, an Inyan of Etzem, there's an Inyan of Gilui. Gilui or any other Pchina is an Inyan Prati, a specific thing. And B'meila it has what it is, and Fakert, Inyan of Gilui negates other parts. It's an Inyan of Said L'mashal. Said is a certain Madrega in Torah. And it's that Pchina Said, so it's a certain, has its Gedarim, it has its Tzir, and mitzad the Teva Advarim, mitzad when there's this, the more Gili Asay, the more it's Shelel, other Efanim in seeing Torah, other Chalakim in Torah. Each Inyan has its gather and Shelel other Chalakim. Mashiach Inyan of Etzem is not Shel anything. And Adrab, it's the Mahus of everything. So Etzem is not a certain Pchina. That's the essential difference. Etzem is not another Pchina in an Inyan. It's not another Eifin. Etzem is the Mahus which has no Mahus really, and therefore it's the Etzem of everything. He's the core of everything. That's the Rebbe's Ma'alech before. Here the Rebbe adds another prat. So what the Rebbe is saying before is that the Etzem gives a chayis in everything. The Rebbe brought the Dugma Meida'ani, so the Pirish of Chassidus is not shayl any of the other Pirishim. Fakir, it gives them a chayis. It's not shayl them. We're not saying that when a person is thanking for the Eibishter, there's no concept of thanking for the fact that you're alive. There is a concept of thanking for the fact that you're alive. But there's a certain chayis that's what's the ranging of Yechidah. There's other Pirushim. Chassidus Fakir gives a Tesefes Eimek, a Tesefes Klarkat, a Tesefes Chayis in other Pirushim. Doesn't diminish them. Doesn't diminish the Remes. Fakir gives a certain takeif to the Remes. That's the Nekudah. But that the Mashal of Inyan of Chesam Esim or the Inyan of that even when the mitzvahs are nimshach and tam to be margish and Nekudah Bratzna Elyon, that's that Chassidus gives a tam in everything. But with the Rebbe adds over here another prat. The Rebbe adds over here that where is expressed the Nekudah Sa'etzim of Chassidus, that everything is affected by the Eir Chassidus, and everything is going to get a new chayis of Chassidus. But where could you recognize the Nekudah Atzmis of Chassidus? Not just that it's an Indian product, the thanking of the person thanking the Eibush for the fact that he's alive. That's a specific thing. He's thanking for the Eibush for the fact that he's alive. It's affected by the Eir Chassidus. Even a person's thanking for the fact that he's alive, the whole yichus is that it's a yid's life. So it's affected by the Nekudah Chassidus. But we're saying that Chassidus is an atzmis de gezach, which is beyond any tzir. Where is it Meir, the Nekudah Sa'etzem, which is beyond any tzir? Where is that Meir? So that the Rebbe adds here that Noaz Chilasim Seifan, the Nekudah Sa'etzem is Nizgale in the fact that it's Payal also in Seif. That's the new word that the Rebbe says here before. Before we're not saying that the fact that Chassidus affects Chelik Apshat, it's not that we could tell the unlimitedness of the Etzem, or the undefinedness of the Etzem, the fact that he's pale on Chinas Apshat. You see that a Yid's Bahem is ugly Achtas Einad Mavadi, and Melo is taking the fact that he's alive, he's going to say that the fact that I'm a Yid. But it's Beinzach in them, the Heder Hagbala and of the Etzem of Chassidus. You're dealing with a prat, and this prat is affected or is full of light because of Chassidus. But here we're adding another thing. Not Chalasim Sefer means that where could you tell? Where is Nizgala? The Etzem, which the Etzem means the fact, the Heder Agdara of Chassidus, the fact that it's Inyan Atzim, the fact that it's connected to the Etzem of Lakut, which has no definition, where is that Heder Agdara expressed? So that's expressed in the fact that Chassidus has Ashpa on Seifa. That's the Rebbe. That's a new point they didn't speak about till now. You heard the meaning. You got the concept. It says, where are we here? It says, Apia now, you've the Rebbe saying this, Shag Amra Kama Mailis Pratis שבחסידס זה העניין של החסידס. genau, this part genau בתחילת השיחה. כי אף שמאלס אילו היא רק מסתפס ומחוס החסידס, מכאן כמו יודן דווקא מספתס מחוסה. כדאי וסד, כי ההירוע על עניין עצמי הוא שמפעפה ומחתה וננסה בכל הפרטים, עד לפרט היסר קודם. Here the Rebbe is saying a part of the beer. Why is it that the Rebbe said that what's in Chassidus, they said that a Yid should serve the Eibishter l'mayla even more than Shura Sadin. I look at that's a prat. But since Chassidus is an atzmis de gezach, so an etzem is not defined that his inyan you can only find in pshitis. You can find his inyan in every single prat. You could identify the etzem in every single prat. So wonder what's the Nekudas HaChassidus? That a Yid's Ibergem to the Eibishter on Akbalas. This Inyan, you can identify this Ibergemkeit without any Taish, without any Tzir, in every single Prat of Chassidus. So if you want to say what's the Nekudah of Chassidus, that it was Nizgala, the Nekudah of say Hiskashas Telakus without any Tzir, without any Akbalas. This Nekudah you could find in any Prat of Chassidus, because since it's in Nav Etzem, any Darga of Giluy, so in order for a higher Inyan to be Nizgala, it has to be Nizgala Dafke, it's in a Mesiras Nefesh. Mashiach Etzem doesn't need Mesiras Nefesh to be Nizgala. You can see it in every single Prat. You can identify the Etzem. So in the way a Chassid has Avos Yisrael, you could tell that in the way he has Avos Yisrael to another Yid, he's not munach in himself at all. The Etzem can be misbata in every Prat. The Mele, it's shaykh to say that the Rabbeim should say when they get to different Pratim that's the Nekudas HaChassidus. That's one thing. But what I have to remember is here this is the main point that I was going to continue in the Hemshech HaSicha. This is Al Pia now what the Rebbe explained before. That Etzem is not defined that he's revealed Afke in a general way. He could be present and he could be expressed fully in a detail, in a prat. That's the Rebbe's Maamar in Sif Yud Zayin. That's a clear minutes in the first subtation. Now the Rebbe adds another prat. Pia klal shenos tchilosim b'seifan dafke. Harikol ma she'achsidus nimsheches b'bchinas tachtene yeser. We'll skip this ad laficha. We'll skip that for a second. Mizbata is b'yeser etzem osi. Here the Rebbe is saying another point. Every single prat you could see the etzem. But where is the etzem expressed with the ganze teikef? If you want to see the amitis mahus of what Chassidus is, that's dafke in the way Chassidus affects the lowest of the low. Not seven chalasim has different meanings. Not seven chalasim simply means. One dogma is you say you have an gadol ma'id, an avuk gdol ma'id. So the fact that Nagbuka is Meir in an area that's near the Abuka, so that doesn't express the take of air. Where is expressed the take of air? The fact that it's Meir the Mirachik. So where do you see the bleak vol of the air that it's Meir the Mirachik ma'id ma'id? Something that's bleak vol. So where is it expressed the bleak vol of the Makir? And the fact that it's Meir, I'm saying Berichu Gadol Ma'id. That's the. We hear the Rebbe saying the knetch over here is Nos Tchilasim B'Seifan, not stand that Chassidus is Meir b'Makim Rachik Ma'id. And the fact that that which prat is affected by Chassidus. Rebbe speaks Meir all the time. Chassidus is Etzem, and Etzem is the Etzem of everything. It's Chayt in every single prat. But where is it expressed? That mitis Mohosa Etzem of Chassidus. That even a prat Rachik, a prat which is very far, is transformed by the etzem. That's what attaches Nas Chalasim Sefer. A pasha what Nas Chalasim Sefer could mean the take of ha'er is expressed that it's Meir very very far. Here, what's the nekudah of the whole? What the Rebbe is speaking about here? An etzem is not defined that he has to be in a way of in a general way. He's present and he's reflected in every single detail. And the way a chassid watches negavaster, you can tell that he's doing it. That a minik ben is tired. That a minig is based on that Mashal the Rebbe said in the Gate Toras that him is munach that doing a mitzvah is not in order to gain anything, but the only mitzvah is being mal the Davish Ratz. You can see that in every prat. But the Rebbe is adding here that since we say Nas Chalasim B'Seifan, Vukitz Chareis that mitzvah Mosa Etzem of Chassidus that it's present even b'Makim Namuch. What is this present in a Makim Namuch? What does it mean that the Nekudah we're speaking over here not stam. There's a big difference when you say in a book as misfashet, so you have a far place, you have a makim rachik, a low place. That low place is not light. Doesn't result in the light. You don't say that the light is also a low place. Vu brings the bleak vol of the air that he comes to a very low place. Here, the Rebbe is saying the hemshach before. It's one paragraph. The Rebbe is saying the whole time that the Nekudah of Chassidus is that it's present in every prat. That every prat really is the Nekudas Hayichida. The way it comes in that prat. After the Rebbe is Ma'isiv. The ultimate place where it's expressed in the Nekudas HaChassidus is that you have even a place which is the lowest of the low, a tachtin, and even there, kol metziusa is the etzem. Even a seif, even a makim namuch, you transform the mitzvahs and you bring out that even that mitzvah is also one with the etzem. And that's where it's brought out the mitzvah mohos ha'etzem of Chassidus. You heard the meaning? As the Rebbe says like this, you see the lashon, you see a piakal shenos tchilasim b'seifan dafke. Is behemshet what he's saying before. The Rebbe is saying before that Inyan Atzmi is mizbat, and then that he's chayder ad the prat yisrakot, and that he's in everything. So apia klash not cholasim b'seifan dafka, and he kol mashach Chassidus imshach zebchinat techtene yeser ad la firas tev nefesh b'hamis. That means that it transforms the nefesh b'hamis. Not only in every prat of the neshama is the etzem is present. It's the core of even the nefesh b'hamis. Chassidus is the core. The yichid is the core of. Yichid is the core of Nefesh Bahamas. So what is the core of the Nefesh Bahamas? But in Afichas Nefesh Bahamas, Chutz Shabbat, not that you cancel the Nefesh Bahamas. In transforming the Nefesh Bahamas and making it a keli, that Kol Inyona should be a keli to Nefesh Elokis, Dort and Dik Tzachayis, Amitis Mos of HaChassidus. Chutz Shabbat, Mati Yesir Bir, Chalka Ba'elam, Chutz Shemachutz La'adam, Iber Machenfeld, there's Mizbatas B'Yeser Etzem Osa. V'lachein, Hertaminin. That's the Chiddush of the Rebbe saying here. Vu brings Chares Amitis Mohos HaChassidus in the strongest way. You have the Meister, the Villa Paritcher, that Behem, that his Behem was Munach, that life now like it is garnished. But the Rebbe says that Amitis Mohos HaChassidus is expressed that even the Nefesh Bahamas is transformed into Kedusha. There you see that the Etzem is not Gdor at all. The fact that the Etzem could express itself in a Prat, so that brings out that he's not defined in a Klal, he could also come into a Prat. But sekumtish to the Heder Agdara that's expressed in the fact that even a Metzias which is Mechutz is also him. That's not much higher level. That's not Skulas in the Sefer. We're saying even a Metzias of a Behema, even a Prat which is not a Prat Aliki, not a Prat in Avedis Hashem, a Nefesh Bahamas. That Prat also could be transformed and can become a Keli to the Neshama. And in the fact that even a Davar Chitzoni could be transformed and become a Keli to the Neshama, and then Dik Tzachareis, the Heder Agdara of the Etzem. So we already said before, the Heder Agdara of the Etzem, usually something which is very high. So a small Prat is not, you say, Mr. Snevesh, Zer Heichazach. But Mr. Snevesh is expressed in the fact that he's ready to give his life away. But in Pratim, in the way he's going to daven, there you're not going to see the Mr. Snevesh. Chassidus, in every aspect, in every detail, the whole Etzem is present. But the Rebbe is adding here a detail which is really an Inyan of a Behema. And the Behema that was transformed. So that brings out the Heder Agdar of the Etzem in the strongest way. And was weiter megay, taking a Prat Chitzeni of Welt, that's even a bigger nigut to the Neshama. And even that means, where brings out that there's nothing that's beyond the Tchum of the Etzem. Yichidus is Amisar Zach, that there's nothing beyond this Tchum. Not only a Prat is not beyond this Tchum, like the Rebbe is Bimaz B'Tzilno. Even an Inyan which is the Chore Hepech, it's Tzir, Inyan of a Behema. Mitzad, since the etzem of a lakus is not defined, even the etzem of a behema, could be used for the sake of a lakus. And the fact that they transformed the behema, that's where it brings out stronger or more with the Gerestet Tekev, the Heder Agdar of the etzem. And now there's a good weiter, the fact that you can take an Inyan Velt, and the Inyan Velt could become a keli to a lakus. That brings out that a lakus has no tzir, and therefore even a metzias of Velt is a keli for him. That's the Rebbe. There says a starke Sache. Weil kein hitig ist Chagmuch Admur bekam besichesov Shkol Inen Shalem dem Chassidus Rech Levi bepel. Ki al dei avede bepel darf getevsim b'mus Chassidus. It's an interesting Sache. But the Friedrich Rebbe always brings that every Inen has to be a Bechein. Wie versteht man allemal? The Friedrich Rebbe says that from jeder Inen davon reist nehmen a Bechein. Because the main thing is Yerushalayim. The main thing is the Thomas said to learn Chassidus shouldn't have a Bechein. Everything has to have a Bechein. The Rebbe touches a different word. Because Vu brings Chares. The Mohos of Chassidus, what's the Nikud of Chassidus? Yechide of Elokus. Yechide means Etzem, which Etzem has no definition. Therefore, if it only stays in one realm of the Metzias, Ayid learned Chassidus, and it only affects his brain, it doesn't affect his Ma'aseh B'Poel, doesn't affect every aspect of his life until the lowest, that means that it's not Etzem. It's not the ultimate Ein Sof of his Neshama, it's not the ultimate Ein Sof of Elokus. So every if a Yid learns Gemara and it doesn't have an effect on the Ma'aseh B'Poel, there you're not going to say that he's lacking in his learning. His learning is beseder. The Rebbe is saying here, if Chassidus doesn't affect even Peil Mamish, felt in the Mohos HaChassidus. The Mohos HaChassidus is that it's Ein Sof, that it's Yechida. Yechida means that it's not connected to a certain realm of life, or it's a certain realm of reality. Yechida means that it's the Etzem. And the Etzem is beyond, you can't limit it in any form of realm of Metzias. So if it doesn't affect bis Peil Mamish, that it doesn't affect every aspect of a person's life, so felt is the Mohos Inyan. That's a whole different hadkosh. Okay. Oh, K'meishim K'nesa Ein Sof Shebechsidus. The Rebbe is Masber Hashtiku Chazal Lefi Zeh. K'meishim K'nesa Ein Sof Shebechsidus Ubechol Gam Bechol Chal Kater. The Rebbe started read in the beginning of Siv Gimel the Be'etzem Tere Bechal is Miyuchel with Ein Sof. And B'meila Ein L'Shabcha Klal B'tilas Chayes Kol Elam. Tere is Ein Rechte Welt. Because Tere is Miyuchel with Ein Sof. But in Torah, the Pshittas Ein Sof is not Meir with the ganze Gilui. It's Ein Sof the way it's connected to Tzir, but Torah is also Ein Sof. There is this Inyan that Torah is Ein Sof. Vu gets Chareis the Mohus of Torah, in the fact that it affects even a Dover Rachik B'Yeser, that's also Mizbat and Nigla. So Kain Gam, this Inyan in Ein Sof, that Bitya Ein Sof, is that how is that expressed? Not that it reaches till there, but this concept that the ultimate Ein Sof of Torah is expressed in the fact that it affects even a davar which is far, very far, tachten, a hell of a hester, and that you transform. So this Maamar Chazal, there was a Maamar Chazal, but it ends up being also a biur when you get Chassidus. This is a stark word. This word. Zoma Shomer Rabbi Razal, Barasi Yitzhar Hara, Barasi Leitera Tal. The politic gesagt. Barasi says the Eibusher created Yitzhar Hara, and I created Torah to be a spice darten for the Yitzhar Hara. The politic gesagt. The Mashmas Haloshin is that the Eibusher created Torah. Paim Shana Kadam Torah Leil. The Eibusher created Torah should be a tavlin for the Yitzhar Hara. The politic Inyona. So the Rebbe says the Chura Tumah B'chol Elam is Elam Haza Yisha Tachten Shin Tachten Mata Yemen Shtak Nidre Kavot Elam V'Hester Herzich Shalakus. But Elam Haza Gufa Yitzhar Hara Mischarta VaKadosh Baruch Hu Shebroi. What does it mean? The Eibusher has Charata. Charata means there's no qualities in Yitzhar Hara, no positive thing you could get out of it. It means Charata. You say other Nivraim, Epes Hate Elas coming home for them. There's some positive Inyona. Yitzhar Hara is only Machkalya. There's nothing positive to it. I think there is, but that's the Eibusher is mischaret. What does it mean? The Eibusher is mischaret. It means the Rebbe is saying it's the lowest world. Elam Haza is the lowest world. Yitzhar Hara is even more from Elam Haza Gufa that it's Kol Inyona is to remove a person from the truth, remove a person from the Eibusher. The Nidrik says that. So now Elam is bechlal our kolochshav l'gay the Eibusher. Remind myself. The Gemara says that Shchede Sheviu like a para, Yidden should bring a chatas kapar for the Eibusher Hashem Yadat Yisraelech. So the Fuzalgan is that a bacher asks a shiva that the chatas make the Hashegi. So the Eibusher says Shegi. What's the pshat? So Shiva said, "What do you mean? You're chesed the Eibusher did it amazing. It's chesed the kavayochlav amazing." But there's a sikh about the mischaret. Shloisha Yitzharim, the Eibusher is mischaret. But the nekuda is that there's no. What the Rebbe wants to bring out here is that there's no tchuna in it, which is mekarev ayit to the Eibusher. Yeah. So kibbutz kol elmas, filo elmas al yenim. Him kolach shel gabeter. Zok tchfir that the elmas kolach even elmas al yenim are kolach shel gabeter. There is ein sof. ולכן כששיבה דוד הסתר בזה שכל יום מסוים ותכן התלויים תיק תגמיץ ואחר של תרא ננש הזה. Because the Torah is lashon in the shapcha klal betilas chayes kol elmas. Torah is bein the rechte welt. So in koshim gav chemish l'chur ein shom makom leimer that why did they should create Torah v'chtei shiyeh tavel Yitzhar Hara? You can sagen as a zach. But now move on. Torah is miyuchad with atzmus. Where is it expressed that Torah is miyuchad with atzmus? Legabi ha'etzim, it's not shaykh to say there's any form of reality that is not him. Even and the Vu brings Chareis the ultimate Inyan of Atzmus, that even an Inyan which is Mizbata Davka B'zesh Yitali Yitzhar, the Kimmach HaKeach L'Tabel is Yitzhar Hara, L'Hofch L'Toibum, Tzad Atzmus Yizbar. What the Rebbe touches this? The Rebbe says, Vabir, but it's Kol HaGiluim Gama Yisar Nailim, L'Yesem Mugdarim Begeder Eir V'Gilui, means in Yonim, with the Geder of Eir is that with what Mitvas is the Eir Elokus. That Begilui, his Metzias is Elokus. This Metzias, Inyona is Bittul. Mashegin a tzir of Yesh, Metzias Hara, or a tzir of Yesh, is Menaged, is the which is Hebecher, is Menaged Ali. If mitzad the perspective of the way to relate to Elokus is by Bintzias being Davuk. Mitzad we take Elokus in a certain in a certain form. The way Elokus relates and is expressed in Metzias, in actuality. In actuality, with what you need traits in order to be relate to Elokus. Which traits? You're bottled to Elokus. You're Davuk. The Yitzhar Hara has no bittul, has no dvekus. So the Yitzhar Hara is no shaykhus to Elokus. B'meile ein b'yichot mitzad kemen ish ma'apers on the tape. Kimli lochem be'achei batal legam. You could say that since the is blig vol, he's going to reach everywhere. You say, since the is blig vol, even though the place is a very, very low place, the air is going to reach there, and it's going to say, he's going to cancel the Yitzhar Hara. But that Yitzhar Hara should be transformed. In order to be a keli, you have to have a tchuna of bittul. Yitzhar Hara has no tchuna of bittul. Say, you have someone learning. See, in order to learn, You have to have an interest in learning. You have to have a psachai. You have to have zitzfleish. Someone has he's a wild kid. So could you use the tchuna of wild in order that should be geidim aggressor hatzlach in learning? Learning has gdarim, and in order for learning to be matzlech, you have to be able to have chveis yishuv adas. If someone is jumpy, so jumpy is a stira to having a shaykhs to learning. It says elikus is bittul, tachas ha bittul. It's a hard as yesh keich hamasav. How could the keich hamasav be used for the sake of elikus? Mitzad ha'atzmos there's no gdarim. Mitzad ha'atzmos is not shaykh to say that this form of reality suits him and that form doesn't suit him. So Torah, the way it's connected to atzmos, any single tchuna that exists could contribute and could be a keli to elikus. There's nothing that's beyond his inyan. See, the shleishim drachim, the lashon, the amount, but Torah's nikna with the chaverim, you should pilpul atamidim, this thing, that thing. Mitzad ha'atzmos, there's no gdarim. Every single tchuna which exists is a part of his mitzvahs. So mushlo mikol HaChassidus, v'gam ein shayach shum enagadilav. Everyone wants to bring out, we don't mean stam, he's pashut. So then, in order to relate to a pashut, you have to relate to pshittas. It doesn't mean pashut. It means there's not shayach to say that there's something which doesn't relate to him, which does not suit him. As I must say, there's no such a thing something doesn't suit, because the etzem has no definition. So you can't say that there's something that doesn't suit him. So ra suits him too. Not that even ra could be a keli for toif. Keich hamasav, the Rebbe speaks now. Mimele bichot l'shan neisi lo hafchel toif. זהו גם כמה שבכינס התאיר, המייחד והסמיסברג נאמר, משחקס לפניו. He says, ואי, יש השם לפניו, משחקס לפניו. So the Alter says, good Torah, that's Torah, the way it's mushish and atzmus. In the way it's mushish and atzmus, משחקס לפניו. So, schayk v'tainik shlomayla ba, what's the dik schayk? Because Alter explains in Torah that schayk v'tainik shlomayla ba, the birah v'tikin acheshet, that's Yitzchak. Because Yitzchak gittin chalakim, and the kol of Yitzchak is birah acheshet. So tzchayk is birah v'tikin acheshet. It's ha'pashech l'neir. So, where do you reach to Torah the way it's miyuchad with atzmos that even that the b'keach HaTorah you could transform the Yitzhar. וזהו משחק סלפניו דווקא עדי בחינת שסבך שייך לנהירה משחק כשהוא בתורה מספתס פנימיוסק מישהו מחז בפנימיוס אין סוף ברוך הוא לפניו. יש כפשט הזר. So in order to access the pnimius of Torah is dafka in the fact that there's no space, there's no phase that's outside of Torah. Where is the space there's no phase outside of Torah? That when they get mibachutz, a person's nefesh b'hamis, or he goes to chutz avamish. Now this chutz is b'chlal not, he's not gezhach, I don't know exactly, he's no shaychas to the tzir of Chassidus. And him you transform to be a keli to Chassidus. Dorten gibt's charetz, areis, the ein sof of Yechidish B'Torah, of Chassidus. Yes, ich kann pashte in. You should see our Aram is all game weiter. This is an important point in our, this is our 114, it's an important Aram. Pimash Kos B'Fnim, and now I don't know the number that you have. 120? Pimash Kos B'Fnim, Yuven Al-Loshn, Barasi Loi Teira Tavlin. What's the Pshat in Chazal? The Pashas, the Pshat in Gemara is Bittul. L'chura has a Yitzhar, it's Tzarech Lavato. The Gam Zena said that it's Nacha Chazal. Booked in Yana Gemara, but it's Nacha Chazal. K'maimer Chazal, Mashchele B'Sa Medrash, Me'evan Hunim Mayach, so the Me'ach means that it melts, not that it's transformed. It's Vert Ois. Bar Zolum is Peitzitz. Tavlin, verkehrt. Tavlin is not something which, Tavlin is not a vital food. Adrab metabolism nesem betam. So that of them touch the Rebbe up, that mashat tzarich la'avdi yikshapagam achim luvolzeh yitzhar mizgorabach. Aval asmes yitzhar who etzim keich hamasabe tzarich latapchi ulahofchi l'teif kibifnim. V'zer sham barasi l'teira tavlin ki hakavana barasi tavlin ula'etzim l'teira ki hanakavana shul anish. We'll get to this barasi l'teira tavlin. Yeah, this is what does it mean? It's a hard but in general, the point over here is that you say for the Rebbe brings over here. It's a hard I'm saying, if you say a pashtazach, you say the Yitzhahara, there's the Koyach HaMasav. The Yitzhahara wants is a power to feel good. Koyach HaMasav. I feel feeling good. He wants to enjoy. It doesn't mean anything against Yiddishkeit. he wants to enjoy. There's Einer versus Bottle. Einer is Bottle for Lukus. And Keach HaMasava is Nish Bottle, a Keach, which it's a Keach HaMasava. Then the Keach HaMasava is pushing you not to wake up for Zman Krishma. That's already Ra. The Keach HaMasava coming in a tzir of pushing you away from the Eibishter. Keach HaMasava, it's say someone is wild. So he's hyper. Then because he's hyper, therefore, in Pashtus, one is a result of another. There's not mamish about this, but something else. He used to say that you say there's white, there's black and white. See, black is automatically not white, but is the definition of black that it's not white? It's not what's the agdara black that it's hepech white. Black is what he is. It happens to be that he's not white. We're saying the Yitzhahara is a vildazach. Let's say. Not that Inyona is nisht kegen elukus. It is a keich l'sabes. It happens to be that it clashes with the Eibusher sometimes. So Keich HaMesaveh is going to be a stirrer to waking up. So in Pogavach Menuva, the fact that the Keich HaMesaveh comes in a tzir of pushing a yid away from doing a mitzvah, that's Mashchele V'Semedish, that's from a face sign. That's a stirrer to Likus, and that is nothing to be mile. The etzim qualities of the Nefesh Bahamis, Ervila Nohav, not the way it comes in a tzir being menaget from Teira Kedusha. Ervila Nohav, that B'Keich HaEtzim, you could transform it and use it from Kedusha. You say it uses the dogma of someone. You see, someone that's jumpy, or a wilder doesn't have sitzfleisch. Lepeli won't be able to learn. That's a stirrer to learning. Is the agdar of not having sitzfleisch not learning, or not having sitzfleisch is what it is? It's jumpiness, and Adam, as a result of that, it's going to be that. So if the jumpiness now is a clash with learning, that aspect you have to cancel. But the etzim jumpiness, that could be a kedita. That means that you could transform it. That fakert that she could bring you a bigger aslach in learning. Says the meaning. The thing is, let's say someone mitzat kinna, so it's being pile on him, not to be meifetz teira v'yadus, or to gain kegnat tzveta yid. So that's a kinna that has to be broken, because that's a tzir of heipach ratzon aliyah. The etzem tchuna of kinna itself, that let's say could be used for teira kinna say from tabachah. So the etzem Indian of kinna can be nutzen for Yiddishkeit. But kinna, that's b'keich ha'etzem. And you can transform it that kol Inyona should be for the sake of being meisif in hafatzas ha'teira v'yadus. But in the tzir of it, that it's menaget the teira, does take it. That's the Mechalik over here. That means that he's using his keich ha'mesaveh to deter you. It's a hara mizgarabach. Aval atzmi say it's a hara etzem keich ha'mesaveh. The etzem yisod of what the Yitzhar is, thus tzarech l'tavli l'hafcha l'tevkin f'nim. And thus the pshat barossi l'teira tavli means using teira to cancel the Yitzhar. That's not nicht in them dikzuches the etzem teira. Barossi l'teira. Barossi teira. Where do you access the etzem of teira? Haina kavanash b'shul and nivris. Barossi means the slivasti the ganze mitzias teira. It's a very strong lashon. What's the amitis mohos atayr? What was the purpose of means the sherish atayr and atzmas? What's it does? That's mizbat alebi even the yitzhar came back fichos l'tayr. Ich can push the Inyona. Can I be so weiter, yeah? Okay, arba shnei Inyona v'elu b'shter HaChassidus v'adar ze b'chol atayr hadirase b'chol chalkei nefesh ruach neshama chaya v'atche be'elis and nefesh be'el. That's there's Maamar in the whole sif. That an etzem is the etzem of everything. So he's cheder in every single prat. Every prat that's an extension, so to speak, of the neshama. The etzem of the neshama is the etzem of every single prat. The mela, the etzem is present and is reflected and gives life to every single aspect of the neshama. Different, or to the person, different than madreges of the neshama, than keiches of the neshama, which a person, let's say, enriches his seichel, learns Gemara, so your seichel is enriched. It doesn't bring a new chayes to the entire dense one prat. And b'tiyatz musa, where is it expressed? The heder ha'agdara, the nekudas ha'etzem, who dafka de pulas of nefesh b'hamas u'ba'elam. Yesh digmasam kechol Inyona shebechsidus gam benigla u'ba'alach. V'le'eid el shaloch zu benigla netesa v'biur ay the Inyona maskarim l'il shebechsidus. This the Rebbe spoke Yud Shvat, the Sinai. So the halacha is that arba amish shel adam kenes levechol makim. Simta b'tzidr shas rabim. Yeah, and b'negel gitin v'kedushin gam b'shas rabim l'kama days. One is the takon of the amish shel adam kenes le. And kinyan zeh takanas chacham b'chdei le'asel insi that if the halacha would be that in order to the halacha midaraisa is in order to be kaineh, you have to be meishich, or you have to be magbia. So people are going to find the mitzvah, and everybody's going to be jumping over the mitzvah to go to grab it, to get it. That is very ganze meriva. So the halacha is that whoever was in his dal damis first is kaineh, and that takes away zolmzankin kriegerei. Now, the Rebbe says another prat when he gets to the Efnat Takana. Afshat Takana is a chayfetz amunach b'dal dam yishlad miknolei. So that's the main purpose of the Takana. But minkom kim mishvil kinen achayfetz hiknol chacham is dal dam is atzmam v'asam kachatzeir. V'yidei zeh b'meile kinen shleis achavetz amunach b'miteres kinen chatzer. Chinkot neshein the chatzer in the gam dal dam. The halacha is that b'shas a chayfetz goes into a person's rishus. Chatzeir shladim kainolei. Kinen chatzer. So the even at the Kana given that the Dal Damis that surrounds the person that should have a din of his chotzer. The mele when the chayfetz goes into the Dal Damis, azay bepashas the Dal Damis is not my chotzer. The Kana given that the Dal Damis should have a din of my chotzer. And once that is din of my chotzer, so a chayfetz is gefinzach in them is nikne to the Baal chotzer. Elish zeh mash ikne chacham la'adam is Dal Damis v'rak l'tzirkin the chayfetz amunach ben b'leili nene. I'm not going to the whole shakotari nigler, but just the way the Rebbe is magdir it. The way the Rebbe is magdir it here. That the fact that we're making a dal damis is not that it's not that the dal damis is machlekes if the exactly how this works. The pratim here, but it's not that the dal damis was gefinzach harum der mensch has a din of chotzer. Only legabe being kaina chayfetz has a din of chotzer, and that gufa only certain chafatzim gneva not is a shakvatari, different shittas. The says azay the adamas which is surrounding a person doesn't belong to him. Le'inyan kinyan of a chayfetz the adamas belongs to him. Now ima yesh a kinyan the adamas u'mitam kinyan chotzer b'chol ze is odaf u'mikinyan chotzer chotzer she'enim mishtameres gam k'she'emet b'kirda b'la chayfetz ev she'yuchol in the satz migdit. Means there are chotzer that the chayfetz, you say someone has today have a front people leave packages. It's not a makam ha'mishtamer. People could come, someone else could come and take it. So chafetz, if the chotzer is not mishtamer, the chayfetz is not secured in the chotzer, that chotzer is not kain. Unless that's a cheres naknes, it's different dinim. But beifin klali, a if the chayfetz goes into your chotzer and the chayfetz is not secured while it's in your chotzer, that chotzer is not kain. Yeah. So and chotzer she'enim mishtameres in a kain at sheyemer zochsel lisadi. But Dal Damis, after a person's Dal Damis, he doesn't have a fence around his Dal Damis. It's an open area. Anybody can come and take the chayvus from the Dal Damis. So in Tzarech Lemer Zochsavei, Zochsachul means that a chayvus gefinds sich in Dal Damis, even though it's a chotzer she'enim mishtameres, it's niknet to the Adam. But shekenis le'lo Adam af Shloime daite or tzei nikla. All these pratim, yidaving of us handling. But the point is, I mean, there's different shakalas in each prat. But the Rebbe is saying according to the Parshas HaMashmos of the Gemara that Dal Damash Ladim Kainis, even if he had no kavanah to be kainah, even fakert, he meant to be kainah through a different way. Which by other kinyanim deiraisa, in order for the kinyan to work, he has to have an interest to be kainah with this kinyan, or at least he didn't have to have bedas to be kainah with another kinyan. But Dal Amis, even if he had no thought at all that his Dal Amis should be kainah for him, and fakert gemeint kainah sein doch zweiter weg. So once the chayvetz was in his Dal Damis, Verte Zayin. Shloime daite. That's the, I mean, each prat is the shakotari, but this is the way the Rebbe builds it up. So I'm saying the Gemara just Dal Amish Ladim Kainale. The Rebbe is magda Dal Amish Ladim Kainale, that it's naif and that they were made, it was the way the Dal Damis are niknes and the way of Kinyan Chatzah. And the Chinuch, but not that the Dal Damis is your Chatzah, the Gabi everything only, the Gabi Kinyan Chayvetz. And at that gufa, but it's kind of more than Chatzah. Chatzar is only kind of bedas, or it has to be mishumer, or if it's not mishumer, you should say zachsali. So the mashiach Dal Damis is kind of even Shloime daite and even Shloime tzayne. So beer mikim shkol kind of Dal Damis umitam kind of chatzar. Nigal Dal Damis atzmam gurim him chatzar. Kana that is only knuyes like in the kind of chayfetz. Ich after shakin Dal Damis here alle mikin chatzar. So Rebbe sagt Abir HaChassidus. Was sagt der Rebbe da? Abir b'zeh v'da adam meser shel adam mispashet es b'chinas ha'yichid shabei. There's a person himself, his meich and his midas, and then there is the Dal Dames, which is Svivaisav. So steht in Chassidus that the Etzema Adam, what's Meir in his Mayach, or what's Meir in his Metzias, that's his Metzias. Dal Dames is gefindt sich michutz imenu, there is Meir Pchinas Yechida. Pchinas Yechida Shubay. V'lechein keines lei lo Adam shalei b'mirasa v'daita. That's the first part, because Pchinas Yechida in the Ge'ina das v'seichel klal. It means, this Inyan, the fact that a person has access in Pchinas HaYechida is not because of his das. The fact that your chutzner belongs to you, that's because mitzad the siba pnimis, your chutzner belongs to you. Because you own it. Because your mind, because it secures things for you. The da'at amishal adam is shaykhis to the person, not mitzad the inin of makif, mitzad etzem nafshe, mitzad the inin of Yechida. And Yechida, the link, is not based on das. Yechid is not that part of the person that's not his conscience, that's talin his das. His etzem, that's beyond his das. What's murgish and what's bepnimi is benafshe. So what's in your brain, what a person, there is certain things you have a shaykh that mitzad kayach pnimi. You understand it, you bought it, you own it. Da'ad amishal adam, the etzem husa adam is mispashid. Etzem husa adam is mispashid, that's not tali bedas. Even beyond your conscience, you have a shaykh to that in you. El shespashid echid adam is mishul kin echid. It's a knows the bagash mishul adam, but vu gets chareis. Vu gets chareis the muhus hanefesh the echida means. What is the yichus that dafkemi bachutz? There's a aris echida because dafken ashpa bachutz that expresses the etzem. The keicher shel adam atzmei chol adam b'chinas nefesh uchin neshama chayish shebei arba amis. Ein bi chotam lahamshech ulegalis is b'chinas ha'yechida. Rak sha'kech is bayim levar eiz davar gash mchutz la'adam haknoas chayfetz l'shuzah shel adam levar l'zaycha d'shamash v'l'shim shemayim oz dafke mizgalas b'chinas ha'yechida. There's two pratim that it brings here. There's artists here, but what's the Rebbe saying here? Why is there a medida of 4? Why is it 4 amas? Because what we're saying is that the chevsh that Rebbe makes it is ayid meretach being mevarer like chayvus in bachutz. You're being mevarer the chayvus through your keiches. But in the fact that your keiches the kfi shein ba'atzmam are not attached to yichida. The seichel the midas of a person, the way they are mitzad atzmam, they don't relate to yichida shem nefesh. The keiches, the way they are focused on being kaina chayvus in bachutz, they connect to the yichida. And therefore, when the keiches are connected to being mevarer chayvus in bachutz, the mahus adam is beyond keiches is nisgal over here. So the kinyan means when you're being maila the chayvus to kedusha, that relates to the yichida that's higher than asag. Mitzad gvul kemenish iber machen adavrim bachutz. Really, you can't transform adavrim bachutz. Which keiches are being used? You said when you get to nefesh kis nefesh bahamis. Nefesh kis being mevared the nefesh bahamis. Which keiches the nefesh kis are being mevared the nefesh bahamis? The seichel of the neshama. But that's the keiches that are being used. But the fact that the seichel of the neshama could transform the nefesh bahamis, that's misad the etzem that even a behemoth could be one with him. So lepayel, it's the etzem the way it comes and is expressed through the nefesh kis. The neshama is the one. But the way the nefesh hamas is inspired is that this person is mizbainin in the goodness of Elokus and in a way that it relates the nefesh hamas should understand. The fact that the nefesh hamas can be affected to the extent of having avos Hashem is because kesher to Elokus has no agdaras. The fact that a person could take a seichel amidus and that a chayvus shem bachut should be nikna ta'yid, and which sof kol sof can be nis'al in kedusha, but primi is that comes from mitzat gvul itself. You can't relate to chayvus outside because a yid has a yichida. And the yichidus connection to Kuntres is without any agbalas. But mainly even a chayvus in bachutz could be. So when the keiches hanefesh are busy being kaina chayvus in bachutz, there it's expressed the dargas ha'adam which is beyond agbalas. It's just too vert here, but that's in the arms. Meher dominion b'chlalos. The artist is the ganze Reda. But it's a whole other Indian. I'm saying right now it's not kedai to with the in of Atzim Gilui. There's I don't know which number you have over there. Huh? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, if you want to learn it, we can learn it, but that's a whole. The shaila is why does the yechid have to work through the keiches of the neshama? What's the dig dal damas? The pu'ulam b'chutz is told in yechid. Why is it in that in dal damas? Because yechid only works through the keiches of the fact that you're able to affect b'chutz is b'chinas yechid shema nefesh. Mitzat seichel you wouldn't be able to affect b'chutz, but the yechid only functions through the keiches nefesh. That the Rebbe explains in the artist. What's the beer bezeh? But again, the pnim is nar. They were saying two pratim. The hashpan outside of the person is the yechid shabbatim. Therefore, it's not tali b'das v'ratzin. Why is it 4? What's the number 4? Because the keiches nefesh are nimdad before, and the yechid only is affected through the keiches being involved in the beer of the davar. And that's the Rebbe in the artist. What's the beer bezeh? Well, let me free and you can do. Why dafke through being mefars mefis chassidus? Ki nezel zeh shemkim shgila Mashiach hi b'chol Inyona ela. Adash v'rol kol basur. So since Mashiach daf uftan in jeder pra, mit Rebbe's dik over here is Mashiach masber gewend the chassidus is the amshach of yechida. But Shaz, why dafke you afatz Inyona chutza? What's the dik chutza? I'm saying afatz Inyona. Ad the kol makim. What is the madgish chutza? That's the shayla. So then sagt der Rebbe, nezel zeh shemkim shgila Mashiach hi b'chol Inyona ela Mashiach v'rol kol basur gem. But we like am achan, I clearly say afatz Inyona bekel. But why is it? Why was the Mashiach madgish afatz Inyona chutza? Because the nekuda is chutza tafke. Bitte mehus mayonas HaChassidus which mispashtem chutza tafke. We think that the whole of being mefetz lekus lemakim tachtem b'yeser, that's even to a low place. They were saying is that the diuk is dafke chutza. Kotan shusam mayonas hak ba'prim as any mizbata adayin amitis mehusam. Kimat shachana v'aklil b'yis Mashiach mehus HaChassidus, not the tzir chitzeni HaChassidus. The mehus HaChassidus, that's the achana to b'yis Mashiach. Means Nekud Mashiach is yichida, the etzem. So there is not the Inyonim chitzeni HaChassidus, but the tzir, the Inyona pnimi. L'chem me'ahecher hu l'hafetz mayonas chutza dafke. Told the gezach. V'at she'ov chutza chutza l'mayonas. Shadez is mizbata mehus mayonas. V'oz asimar d'malka Mashiach. The mehus is that there is nothing that's beyond the Nekud of the mayonas. Bloshna bein azaken shaz is dacher gashmis and she gashmis all she is dacher hagova elam yor eraval Yisrael lishim levush misen early Yisrael gagia cheshach umes gamis even cheshach umes will be ignited will glow kidchsiv kol basar yagdav kol yesh v'sevel arsechem mevar al trebes mevar der shvihini taz Shloime says shmis mishit chiz amesim toler am masenu at the synagogue zamesh chagolos gagerim schar mitzvah ba'atzim god mitzvah Shloime kored mamish. It's nicht kein Pashto Inyon, but it's very strong. Yeah, the learn the artist sister. This is a ganz in HaChassidus. These artists we get.
Why is not there towards him before you?
Why is there still?
That none of the artistic milas could bring out.
No, the tzir prati. Once you're in touch with the etzem is present in everything.
I can say one's better than the other.
If it's something is only limited in the pnim, well, it's not the question of better. Where is it brought out the ain't safest of the Indian? No, if you what?
But one's doing a better job than the other. It's more
better job. That brings out lepoil being mahapech the cheshach le'er, brings out more the hedrak dor of there. The fact that in every aspect of the neshama it affects doesn't bring out the ultimate hedrak dor of the. You can say there's a limit. It's not defined within the gedarim of a neshama. Within the framework of the neshama, the etzem is not defined. But it's not defined in any character. Even a davar sharra could be nesatach. It's the same mohos. The question is, where is it expressed? The hedrak dar of the mohos. If someone, what I'm saying is, if someone only, he says Chassidus only belongs in a certain place, then say within this place Chassidus is going to permeate everything. But if you're relating Chassidus to a certain place, so you're not getting the mahus of what Chassidus is. That is ultimate Ein Sof. That is the Eibusher himself, which Eibusher himself is the source of everything. So as a Yid which wants to keep the mayonis in the pnim, you're giving it a tchum. We're saying the mayonis, even chutz, even something which is totally not it, doesn't belong to any framework. Any mitzvahs. Where's the bride? So where did any mitzvah? Even a mitzvah which is right. It's saying a pnim means which is part of the framework somehow. It's part of, we're dealing with serving Hashem beyond limits. That was saying even something which is ra, which is not in the tzir of Avodas Hashem. But pnimius, at the end of the day, it's like a one mahos. We're not saying that there's, but we're saying, where is it expressed? So if someone wants to limit, a chassidus could only stay in a klois. Chassidus should be smedrash. But a yidin b'chutz has no shaykhs to it. Or a yidin b'chutz can't become a keli for it. And chassidus is beyond him, and and if it's him, but he can't be typhus and he can't. The Rebbe spoke when that he's not a keli for it. Or every yid could be transformed. It can affect every single person. And it can affect every person that they should be transformed. They should fully have a shaykhs to chassidus. That it brings out the mahos that it's in of Ein Sof. If you want to limit it, that within this dal damas it's everywhere. That's fatach in the meaning. If you're open to be kaina chayfetz, then it's meir by you the mahos HaChassidus that it's not defined. But if you mishlis tzechavek that you only have a shaykhs yechid if you stay in your own dal damas, so you're being makil. You're not taking the pnimis inyan. Saying b'mitas inyan, it doesn't relate to the chutz more than the pnim. It's Ein Sof. So where's this Ein Sof expressed, begoli, in an open way? That there's no way of, I'm saying this in the pnim, you could say that even something which is not a mitzvah Ein Sof could affect every aspect of the neshama. But the effect of behema, that only Ein Sof could do. The effect of pnim, the after neshama comes mitzvah Ein Sof. You need something which is not defined within the gdarim of pratim and etzim. That's not a mitzvah Ein Sof. So this inna being made for chassidus chutz mamish l'poel b'zman. The Rebbe said even Zan Abel Shem to do is a certain gilui of chiddush b'teir. Zan Alter Rebbe again l'poel this is not Fatz chutz. He didn't have this Zan Abel Shem to Alter Rebbe. Even the Shalom it says that Fatz chutz means to a yid that doesn't have a yira or hecher Inyona. To a yid that doesn't not chutz. The Rebbe still chiddush ain't chutz l'matei yemenu to mamish to. What do you mean the regular together? Where do you have chassidus? Where do you have chassidus about it? You have chassidus that said that air can be pale on a cheshav. Air is gilui. Air is defined. So that's it, huh? That's the Inyona.